Okay, I just want to talk about my plans in the near future today. Still recovering from the shoulder injury, but it's coming along. At the end of the year, I do plan to reduce my web presence to essentially 2 domains, one based on my legal name, and then one which will exist for 2 more years using the doaskdotell.com. But the content that is on it will, and let me bring it up. The content that is on it will be much less. The 16 blogs on Blogger will go away at the end of the year. We won't have those anymore, although I will save off many of my important postings, probably save off about 100 of them and bring them back. And I'll have an account of what I did over 16 years, how many posts there were and everything. The 4 WordPress blogs will stay, I think, until the 1st of May, when some renewals have to happen, and then I think those will stop. And I will wind up with only 2 blogs. And what I'm going to be focused on is much fewer posts, but posts where I can follow up in detail on things I think are really important to the stability of our society. Not just climate change, of course, but some very specific things like solar storms, maybe the volcano on the other side of the Atlantic, some very things that our way of life really depends on, and yes, maybe some of the political uncertainties right now, but I would have to go into a lot more detail than I have right now. And I'm going to be focusing on finishing the novel, and particularly with respect to the Do Ask, Do Tell, the books. I expect to keep them available POD for 2 more years. At least that's my intention. But I'm going to be working on some screenplays that are adaptations of the large screenplay I did some time back that I've talked about, the Second Epiphany. I'm going to extract some material, and I'm also going to write some quick screenplays based on the situations that would follow the end of Second Epiphany, where people are on a spaceship moving, being evacuated to another planet, and then when they get there, I would try to see if I could write some fairly quickly, following some of the ideas of practical screenwriting that I've been going in, and see if I could build up something that would actually be commercially viable. I think maybe it would. As far as videos are concerned, it's a little slow here because of the shoulder injury. Yeah, I have a channel with a lot of posts, over 2,000, but most of them don't have a lot of visitors, and most of them are very short. What I expect to do in 2022 is remove most of the inferior posts and only keep some of the better posts, and particularly the posts where I had another person helping me technically. And I expect to upgrade and be able to do much more editing myself with iMovie and Final Cut, and have much better equipment, and the videos I make will be a much higher quality. That's what going to insist on. And there's some question about some things I did, like in November of 2020, I went and made a bunch of short videos at the RNC about the Stop the Steal. And this was before YouTube clamped down and said that after the day the electors meeting, you couldn't discuss that on their platform anymore. This was before then. But on December 20th, I had a situation where somebody wanted me to see if I could help house them when they came for January 6th. And I didn't even know how serious this was going to be, but I said, no, just stay in a hotel. I can't really help you. But the fact that somebody thought that my even posting these, and I'm just reporting what I see, there wasn't very much interesting that day going on at Black Lives Matter Plaza, but this So I posted a bunch of short videos that got a little bit of attention. Somebody thought I was on that side, and that was my only reason for posting it. So, you know, there's been a lot of talk that YouTube will not allow videos presenting certain points of views, even by protesters, unless you present overriding views yourself, because the public does not understand, does not respect your right to call yourself a journalist. They assume you're taking one side or another. And that's been a real issue. And yes, this is an issue for me. I'm going to have to be more involved, I guess, with other people. You know, the thing about my kind of journalism, when I don't have my own skin in the game personally with other people, it seems like it's a little unfair for me to have some influence over opinion just because I have assets and don't actually have to make money with it. That's something that might change. There's a Safe Tech Act that might remove Section 230 privilege when a domain space has been paid for example, to think about that. So again, I'm very well aware of this whole skin in the game idea. Talib again. And yes, I would be very concerned. Let me just bring back this other, again, it's hard with one hand. Bring back my original professional resume site. I'll even show you that. But yeah, I'm very concerned about the idea, if you simply write and simply post things or make videos, but you don't join in any way assisting people who are oppressed, that seems like that makes you an oppressor. That's a way of thinking. Yeah, I get the point. They need more activists. They don't need people just writing and filming things. They need people marching. And I get that point. I see where they're coming from. And I don't know how I would feel about being expected to participate that way if my speech was less. But that's a really important point.